Okay, this video is going to be on things that I think are overpowered and things that I hate in WoW. And that's World of Warcraft. So, anyway, Death Coil is a retarded spell with a 2-minute cooldown that's overpowered to all hell. It heals the Warlock. It fears you, and it does a crap load of damage to you. And basically, the way I see it, I mean, in arenas, if you have a Warlock on your team, they just Death Coil, and it's just like way too overpowered. You need to like remove Death Coil from the game, especially in arenas. I really hate it in arenas. I mean, if they can use Death Coil in arenas, just like let paladins use what's that spell called? Lay on hands. Let warriors use recklessness. I mean, come on. Death Coil does shit. What else? Res timers, we all know res timers are gay. Quitters and bots in battlegrounds are totally gay because, man, my vocabulary is really deteriorating. I just say gay every 2 seconds. But quitters and bots I hate because no, I don't hate them. I abhor them because they just sit there and basically they're taking up a space that a player could take up, and they're just sitting there, and sure, you can report them AFK, except it doesn't do your team any good. They just don't get honor. I mean, it's totally crap. And another one that people don't really recognize is Frost Shock, because Frost Shock needs diminishing returns, in Warsong especially. Okay, because if you don't know what diminishing returns are, it's like when a Warlock fears you, and then he fears you for 10 seconds, and then he fears you for 5 seconds, and then he fears again, and he fears you for 2 seconds, and then you become immune to fear. You know that? Well, that's not the same story for freaking shamans. They can just Frost Shock, and it'll affect you for like 7 seconds, and then they just Frost Shock again, and it'll be 7 seconds again. And I don't see why people don't get how overpowered that is and how gay that is. Another thing is Cloak of Shadows. Since I'm not a mage, I don't really care, but I see it against warlocks, but against mages, it's totally overpowered, and it's like a freaking spell damage bubble. It's 90% increased reduction resistances, to all spells, I think. And I guess rogues need it, but it's just like a rogue spell bubble. It's not even like roguey. It's not even like a rogue talent, in my opinion. It should be like a paladin talent or something. Someone with a holy light or something. I don't have a paladin, by the way. I hate paladins. It seems like I love them. That leads me to my next thing. Prot pallies. I hate prot pallies. They don't die, except they don't kill you. The end. They just sit there like rocks. Mages. Okay, here's my big thing. I hate mages because I'm a warrior. Scenario. You charge the mage. He frost novas you, and then he pulls out his pet, and his pet like water bolts you for like 500, and he frost shock? No, not frost shock. What's the word I'm looking for? I sound like a retard. Frost bolts, that's it. He frost bolts you and ice lances you, and with that gay thing, that talent that increases things when they're frozen, increases critical hits against things when they're frozen. It overpowers the shit out of you, and it takes out like half of your health. And then you're sitting there, and you're like, okay, I guess I'll intercept him now. So you intercept the mage, and you hamstring him. But no, he has a pet, a freaking pet that can Frost Nova too. And so his pet Frost Novas you, and you're sitting there and you're like, damn. And then he blinks away, and then you're like, damn. And then he goes and he frostbolts you again, and then you're like, crap, I only have 500 health left. And then you charge him, and you're like, rah, 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 rah. And then his Frost Nova isn't on cooldown anymore, so he Frost Novas you again. End of story. You're frozen the whole fight. It's just totally gay. I'm probably rambling a lot, but I like to ramble. The number one I hate, the number one thing in WoW I hate is cheat death. I think it's a useless talent point in the rogue talents, and basically you just, I don't even know exactly what it is. It's just it procs a ton when the rogue is at like 5% health, and it makes him absorb attacks, like 90% increase to absorb attacks when he's at like 5% health or something, and it procs a ton. And in my opinion, rogues shouldn't absorb anything. They should like evade stuff, not absorb it like a paladin or something. It's just like totally gay, and I think it's crap. And especially in arenas, even though it doesn't bother me a lot, I'm doing this from like the viewpoint of a lot of different classes, not just being a warrior, because I can totally own rogues. Anyway, if you like my ramblings, subscribe. Okay, bye.